So they were making fake tax returns too?
Yeah, people will make fake tax returns, fake P&Ls. Just all they would get is a LLC number, a tax ID number, and then give all fake documents to submit with it.
Not that I'm interested in none of that shit. How the fuck do you make a fake tax return? Wait, so you can get money from going to school?
Yes.
How the fuck do you do that?
See?
Yeah, I've been out of school for
He's the one that just uploaded the W-2 and said everything is all right.
Dead ass. Ladies and gentlemen, we have the West Philly's black billionaire, Mr. TP Taxes himself, and the motherfucking Mancave podcast. We would give you a round of applause, but you don't like attention. That's what you said.
Not at all.
That's why we got him in front of the camera and the mic in front of his face to keep him away from the attention. But y'all didn't tell me that we was rocking a color scheme.
What's the color scheme? Cream, white?
Right.
You got me over here looking blue like a bitch.
Nah, bro, you good. You light skin, so you blend in.
Does it look good?
A little bit. You kind of bright on the fucking camera.
I don't know. These lights are tricky, man.
Nah, you good.
It's too much. It's too much.
Mm-hmm.
You want to welcome the people back to the Mancave podcast? God
I already
damn,
did,
that
bro.
was a
Why you
weak
lost?
fucking intro, dude.
Fuck you,
Do it again.
George. Nah.
Oh, you
You
fucking.
talking to me like you from fucking Sleeve Master, bro. You been taking this
I've
shit
been watching a
real.
lot of
You've been taking
movies.
this shit far, bro.
I saw Emancipation. It really got me.
We had a fucking episode of Black People Can't Be Racist. This motherfucker George went crazy.
I went hard.
You got YouTube going crazy in the comments. YouTube going crazy in the comments. Now you gotta take that shit down. But nah, for real. This is my big cousin, half a role model, Thomas Pender, ladies and gentlemen. He is here to tell us all about finances, taxes, money, etc. I'm especially excited because the tax season is here.
Finally.
Yeah, finally, get the gear up, get that bread. So tell people a little bit about yourself, how long you've been in the business, and why you do what you do.
So I've been an accountant for maybe 20 years now.
Man, 20 years?
Yeah, man. I graduated college in 2004. Something like that. Yeah.
You old as shit.
2004. Yeah, definitely feeling my age by now. Worked for a CPA firm most of my life as an assistant controller, CFO. Started TP Taxes in 2010.
Okay.
And the main reason we started is for education. Like I was running the H&R Block part-time just because I was bored and starting to see the drastic difference in education from what they teach versus what I was getting taught at work. So my average client, I want to say right now I got 13 clients in my morning job at a CPA firm where I'm the CFO. And what they do is they outsource me to them. So I'm sitting there with all these rich people all the time and learning one thing. And then I come back home and see what's happening at home. It's 100% education. And it's not even the fact that it's not available. We just don't care. And it's not in our face. So it more so just need to be in our face all the time.
Right.
For it to sink in versus just telling us, where to go find it at or where to go read it at or anything like that.
Right.
So I got a couple of my friends. We opened our own accounting firm. That way, automatically, when you're getting your taxes done, you're dealing with an accountant. Accountant's expensive. They actually get your taxes done more. So we just made it affordable for them. Instead of you going to get a bus driver or somebody who never had a job or your aunt that worked for the IRS or something like that.
Right.
You get somebody that actually know what's going on. And that's not even the fact that most accountants do tax. Most accountants don't do tax. So accounting is just like law and medical.
Right.
So you got different types. You got people that do payroll. You got people that do auditing. You got people that just pay bills. You got people that just collect cash. There's a million different types of accountants. So you want to make sure you got the right accountant too. They are tax accountants. So there's very few people. Most accountants go to a tax accountant to get their taxes done.
Yeah.
So you need to know exactly who you're dealing with versus just letting anybody play with your numbers.
I never knew there was a fucking difference.
Yeah, I thought accounting, you just did anything. Like it was all
A lot of accountants
numbers.
got bad credit. You would think the accountants
That's
would be all
kinda
the rich ones because they deal with the money. They're
If my
not.
accounting got bad credit. Bro.
Shit.
Yo, I think about this shit every day. I feel like America's a scam. Like, especially with the social media shit now, everybody telling you, I'm doing this, I'm doing this, I'm doing that.
Yep.
And the whole time they be full of shit.
Yeah, social media is terrible. Definitely. I hate when my clients call me and ask me something. They right over there.
They're like, yo, TP, I heard I could buy a car if I just claim my 7 neighbors' kids on my income tax and I just use the bread from, when I work, whatever. Like,
I mean, it's true. It's definitely true that you can get the car in your business, but then they forgot to tell your business got to be able to afford the car. So they don't go together that quite easily.
Oh yeah, you had a question about that, right? About this whole everybody starting the LLC shit during the pandemic.
Yeah, because I think everybody heard it like when it was like 2020 pandemic's at its highest, right? The government said, "I got you. Here's $1,400 to save your whole family."
Y'all was getting $1,400.
Wasn't it $1,400 that people got
12.
stimulus?
But it was fluctuate based off your income and
Right.
how many pennies you got and everything.
But then all you heard was people telling you just take that stimulus check, create an LLC, and then go into like unemployment or whatever and do this and you get $10,000 from the government.
Yeah, it's a terrible idea.
I heard it all over the place. People, it was all over social media.
I'm surprised they didn't get you.
Sitting there thinking about it, but all I know is the government always come back.
Right.
So I'm like, I'm not gonna do this because I know it's not free 10 grand. But I know a lot of people fucking did it. So I want to get your opinion on that whole situation, the thought process that people was like, you can do this and get the 10 grand, and what is the after effect for the people that did do that?
So I mean, mostly. So I don't know which one was just 10 grand because there was a bunch of stuff out. But most people starting them LLCs so they can get the PPP money. Mm-hmm. And the PPP money was legit for business owners, not for regular people. So people starting the LLC so they can get that. But then it also said you had to have your taxes to show that you had the business owner, plus your P&Ls and everything to go with it. And you had to make a certain amount of money to dictate how much you get for the
step
P&Ls.
one, do that, 10 grand.
Right. So people just started making up LLCs and then putting fake numbers in. And then submitting all the documentation, but they forgot that they never submitted the tax returns to match the documentation. So at some point, they're going to swing the block and they're going to come start looking. Because you already see people starting to get locked up for the PPP fraud.
Really?
But they're going to go after people for a long period of time, just going back to they can't get everybody. There's too many people in the world.
There's a lot. Yeah.
But they're going to get enough of us.
Yeah.
So they were making fake tax returns too?
Yeah, people will make fake tax returns, fake P&Ls. Just all they would get is just a LLC number, a tax ID number, and then give all fake documents to submit with it.
Not that I'm interested in none of that shit. Like, how the fuck do you make a fake tax return?
I mean, either you just do the tax return, but you never submit it to the IRS. So you'll go on TurboTax and do all the documents, which they'll find somebody who just randomly just do taxes. Or something like that. Then they'll make the paperwork up, and then they'll submit all the documentation, but never submit that real documentation to the IRS.
Because the IRS, they weren't checking to see if it was like
because it's two different departments. But also because if you submit the number, so in order to get 20 grand as an entrepreneur, you had to clear net like 100 grand to get to 20,000 in that PPP.
Okay.
So some people's getting to 20,000. We know they didn't make net 100,000.
Yeah.
But if you submitted the paperwork to the IRS saying you made the 100,000, that means you owe like $30,000 in tax.
Okay.
So you never submit one side and only collect the other side.
Damn. That's kind of fucking crazy.
Yeah. I mean, I'm guaranteeing you the people that was just like, I'm doing this, none of that was about to happen.
Yeah, I'm not going to jail with y'all.
Yo, so like during the pandemic and shit, a lot of people like kind of like quit their jobs and like, I guess they was looking for a way to like be financially free, you know, whatever you want to call it.
And the pandemic's the perfect time to do it.
It's just a fucking stupid ass idea if you ask me. But what was like the kind of businesses you were seeing be successful coming out of that? Like,
So,
because you get to see people's money all the time.
Right. So there's no successful business or field. You got necessity fields like tax and things you need to survive, like housing and things of those natures.
Things that never go
but
away.
You can make money in anything if you got the right niche and know what you're doing. Right. And you're good at it. So I can't really tell you there's a certain field. Like everybody trying to push like some. There's a lot of tax officers that's broke.
Okay.
There's a lot of tax accountants that's broke.
That's true.
So there's no one thing that you can say somebody makes money off of. So to answer the question of where do I see success, like what I do see success in was the home care agencies and daycares, because it was new to us,
right?
But it's starting to slow down now.
Yeah.
But that wasn't a PPP or pandemic situation. That was just a timing thing. So
right.
Certain people got in at the right time to make the difference in it. That's not totally different.
Right. And it's funny you said that because my dad was in the process of trying to start one. And I know that the city basically came down on him like, listen, it's a lot of motherfuckers trying to file for this. We're not letting anybody else make these for X amount of months. So now it's just kind of like in limbo, waiting for like all his licenses and stuff. And it's crazy because like on one hand, I'm happy for black people. It's like, all right, y'all take the initiative. Y'all see what's making money. So you jump on it. But then it's like, y'all watered it the fuck down. So now, like, if it was real legit companies out here trying to help people who actually need help, they not gonna get it.
But I mean, that's not really a black thing either. That's a people
everything?
thing. Yeah,
Okay,
that's
fair.
Yeah, it's just we see it because we're dealing with black people.
That's
all the
true.
time. That's a people thing. That's not. You can't just say that's
My fault. Dr. Umar, my bad. Fuck me up. Right.
Internet gonna love that.
Right.
Right.
I forgot. Didn't you go to Lincoln?
No.
Where you go to school?
Vernia.
Oh, okay. All right, I'm gonna say that's the HBCU pride. I thought you was pulling that shit out.
Not at all.
So I want to circle it back because you said you used to work at H&R Block, and that's kind of where you kind of started seeing everything. You said kind of do it on your, start from there. Going into tax season, like we said, the two most known convenient companies that people gravitate towards is H&R Block and then TurboTax, right? Just pure convenience, the way that it's advertised. Oh, do this for free, blah, blah, blah. Would you consider either one of those viable options for
They're
people?
terrible.
Okay, explain.
So
Didn't let you finish. Fucking trash.
So I understood tax and what was going on from the start just because of my job. And then I just did H&R Block because it was something to do. That's when I understood the problems and the gaps and the holes.
Gotcha.
So let me put it in simple layman's terms is you're going to go as the bus driver what to do with your finances?
I wouldn't.
That's the person working at H&R Block, though. So on H&R Block, you take a 3-month course, and then I sit in front of y'all and do your taxes. So I don't got no money, no credit, no nothing. And I do something totally different for a living, but I'm about to tell you what to do with your money.
But what about like the TurboTax app? People like just
Now
scan
you
this
about to
John
tell
and
me what
does
to
it.
do with your money.
Wait, what happened?
You don't do no taxes. You don't know nothing about no finance. You got all the same problems. But you're about to go do your own taxes. Would you go operate on yourself?
Yeah. No, obviously not. Obviously not. I'm just trying to tell you what's going on out there.
Right. If you know what you're doing, that's okay.
But I mean, it's just like they make it so easy, right? That's the beauty behind it. It'd be like, yo, just take a picture of your W-2. We'll do the rest, and then we'll tell you what you're getting back on your income tax, and then that's it. You sit in there for 20 minutes maybe while you're doing it all, and then you pay maybe $40. You're like, oh, I think I did all right. But nobody really knows the beauty of going to an accountant, like a tax accountant. Like, I've never gone to a tax accountant. I'm like, fuck it, because that's what I do. I'll just fucking take a picture of it. If it's going to do it for me, why would I have to go out and get somebody else?
Right. So say you go through, so you just working a regular job. And all right. So the one thing in our company, the difference is you paid $40 to TurboTax and they did it. For a basic return for us is $70. So you save $30.
Yeah.
You don't even know if you're right.
Yeah.
So that means you already took a loss right there. Now, you could have missed forms because you only applying whatever you think you know.
Yeah.
So oftentimes we get clients that come back and return after they did on themselves or they went to some random place. And we do an amendment. So now you got to pay double and triple to me now to fix it. So if your return's only costing you $70, for me doing an amendment, I'm going to charge you $170 because I got to fix the problem that's already jacked up. Now, that can be a $2,000 or $3,000 loss that you just did. Like a big thing that I see people do is they lose the school credits. Okay. So somebody did it on their own, and then I'll find out they're in school, and then they'll come back and bring them back to me. And I've had clients that went 3 years. I got them $8,000 because I had to go back and fix the old years.
Gotcha.
But what if they never were just running their mouth talking to me at that time? They'd have never known they were supposed to get that $8,000.
Wait, so you can get money from going to school?
Yes.
How the fuck do you do that?
See?
Yeah, I've been out of school for
He's the one that just uploaded the W-2 and said everything is all right.
Dead ass. How the fuck do you get money from going?
There's a form that comes with this from the schools, the 1098T, that got to go into the tax return too, where you get certain credits and cash for those.
Okay. Is that for paying like student loans or?
No, just for being in the school.
Bro, that's a goddamn shame. Wow. I lost all that fucking money.
Now, loans are something totally different.
Okay.
Like you get a form for loans. Like it's forms for everything.
Okay.
But you don't know if you don't tell us. So.
Right. I know one of the things with a lot of my clients and is making mortgage payments. Is that something that people totally like ignore when they?
What you mean?
Like, you pay interest on your mortgage every month. Is that something that people just ignore when they go to file their taxes, or they not even?
A lot of people do.
Okay.
But it's situational with that too, because it's not always beneficial. Okay. So there's a certain form that the mortgage form goes to. Then you got to see if it's beneficial or not. Then there's a bunch of other things that go into that form to make it even more valuable.
Okay.
But you don't know. You don't know.
See, I don't fuck with taxes at all, obviously, because I'm not I'm not the professional.
Yeah.
But so a lot of my clients come to me like, oh, hey Larry, like what kind of things can I save money on? And I'm like, no, go see a fucking accountant. Nah. Like, I would get in trouble for giving you like faulty information. So like, I guess for my own sake, like, how do you help people who invest in real estate save money as far as like, you know, when they're going to file taxes, or like are there different kind of credits you can get them?
I mean, it's all situational because it's different. It depends on what you got doing. If you flip, and if you sizable and you're doing like flips, and you need to be doing bookkeeping, because then your bookkeeping dictates your tax returns, because everything that happens in your books, it shows in the tax return.
Right.
But then your bookkeeping, you need, in order to do, when you're doing bookkeeping, you need to do tax planning.
Right.
If you had a higher income.
Right.
So they all go hand in hand. It's not like it's one set thing. That's what people look for. That's the TurboTax way. It's one set thing that can be done that fixes all the problems. Yeah. And in reality, all four of y'all's situation is 100% different. Unless y'all got the same exact, y'all make the same amount of money, y'all the same exact age, y'all got the same amount of kids, none of y'all own a house. Like y'all gotta have all the same criteria all the way around for it all would be the same. But you'll get everybody talking and saying like, oh, well, I got 7,000. Why you only get 4? Well, maybe it's because I got 3 kids and you got 1.
Yeah. So to kind of speak about like, oh, you don't know what you don't know what to ask for, what to talk about. Like, what are some, like you said, like going to school? That's a big one that people miss. What are some other things that people don't talk about or even bring up when they come to you because they don't even know that that's an option to? I
mean, so that's still very vague and broad because you get write-offs just for doing repairs on your personal home. So everything is still situational on what you actually have going on. We'd be here for days. But what happens is when they come in, we ask a bunch of questions up front.
Okay.
Or when you're giving your paperwork to us, it starts to trigger certain things that tell us to ask you for. Or like we'll ask if you got like stock options or anything like that. And you might be like, yeah, well, then we know to ask you that we need more forms. So we're normally talking to you as we're doing the paperwork. Okay. So it's that communication that opens up new doors to tell us to ask you for different stuff.
So essentially you can save money on your taxes with anything, depending on who you are and what you're doing.
Correct. And then certain things you're supposed to be doing that fits your scenario too. That's the tax planning side of it. So like most businesses, they need to be doing bookkeeping. Most people don't think bookkeeping is important. It's like insurance.
Yeah.
But I'm literally you can make 50,000, I can make 400,000, and I can pay less taxes than you. But that's tax planning.
Right.
Where people be like, oh, I don't need an accountant. I just use QuickBooks and I do my own books. Well, all right, well, that's fine. And then I give you a tax bill like, oh, you owe the IRS 30 grand. Well, such and such went to you and they didn't owe anything. Well, we did the tax plan. I did all their books and everything. Gotcha. So we automatically did all the adjustments and what to do to make you not have that situation.
Is that why Donald Trump was able to?
Yes.
How'd you feel about that when people was going around bitching like, oh, Donald Trump didn't pay no fucking taxes? Like, obviously, you know the game. So
I mean, if you're not paying tax, that means you have to lose money. It's not like you're just not paying taxes.
Okay.
Which in his tax returns, when it came out, it showed that he said he was losing money for all those years. So then they got to go prove out that he actually lost all that money all that time. But I mean, everybody can do it. But what happened is a lot of people got in the business getting these LLCs so they can lose money. That's dumb. So why would you spend money to lose money so you can get a bigger refund check back? So think about it. If you make 50 grand and you lose 10,000, that means you only got to pay tax on 40 grand. So now you pay less tax, or you got a bigger refund check. Mm-hmm. All right, so you lost $10,000 to get a $2,000 refund check?
Yeah, damn. I ain't thinking about that.
So like a lot of people can come in and I'll tell them close their business. Like, oh, it's pointless. You might as well go to work. And a lot of people don't want to hear that. But it's not my job to be your friend. It's my job to tell you what the truth is.
Right.
I'm trying to put you in the best situation. So most people should go to work. But for you to lose all this money while you're doing business makes 0 sense. We could have put that $10,000 into the retirement plan for the next 50 years and made you a millionaire.
Right.
But you chose to be in business to fit the criteria of being an entrepreneur.
That's a hard fucking pill to swallow.
Yeah.
Damn.
I mean, everybody think that they can just work for themselves, start any business.
No, entrepreneurship is terrible.
Yeah.
It's like 90% of entrepreneurs don't make it. Mm-hmm. And most entrepreneurs are not, if you think about it, entrepreneurs aren't the ones with the money. They glorify the top people. Mm-hmm. So think about in college. They were like, when I went to college, they said the average accountant makes $50,000. I'm about to be rich. I come from down the bottom. We grew up poor. $50,000, I already make more than everybody down here.
Right.
Get to college, I graduate. I got $28,000 offer. I was confused. They forgot about to tell you about experience that you need or the top people come out making 100, all the bottom people making 20. That's how you got the average of the 50.
Yeah.
So now I'm like, oh, confused. Like, oh, I got to figure this out quick. One thing is, I knew I'm going to get a job because it was a demand field, but everything was the average. So they're not telling you the full story. They're selling you a dream. And that goes with everything. So that's why in entrepreneurship, most entrepreneurs are broke. Most of them are failing. They don't tell you that side. They just be like, oh, well, look, Donald Trump did it. All right, that's one. It's like making it to the league.
Yeah, only a handful gonna fucking do
Right.
it. Yeah.
So a lot of people are self-employed where you make okay money, but that's also where I tell certain people to try to pair up. Maybe you shouldn't be the boss. A lot of people, this entrepreneurial world has made a lot of people more of management level because now you learn how to deal with certain scenarios and coach the team since you've built it to that space.
Right.
So what I try to tell a lot of people is if you have two friends and say if this one friend is the actual entrepreneur and they're making $200,000 and they're on their own. Well, you are an entrepreneur and you make $50,000. Yeah, you do fine on your own, but why don't you go work for that guy? And he probably can give you $100,000, and then he makes $400,000. Now everybody's eating, and y'all build out. Yeah, your name ain't on the door, you ain't making money, but you was only making 50 before, and then you make 100. The goal is to make money, not to be the boss. I don't care about my name. I want what day is payday.
That's true. What's the difference that you see, if you can even speak to that? Because obviously, like, I feel like you would have to be more of like a business analyst or something. But you know people, you talk to these people all the time about money. Like, what's the difference? Why are some people like better off going to fucking work than starting a business? Like, are they just poorly planning with the money? Are they not reinvesting into the business?
Oh, it's everything.
They not doing nothing right.
No, so everybody's different. It's just everybody got their own twist. Some people just take all the money out of the business, so they spend it all.
Yeah.
And then when that bad time hit, you good. Some people just can't get the team together. They're bad with people, so you can't get more people to come in and work. Some people just not talented at the craft. Yeah. So because they're picking things based off of where everybody else make money at, not what you're physically good at. So it can be a million different things on why they are not that good.
It took me like 3 years to really learn how to reinvest back into the shit that I was doing. Because I was doing exactly what you're talking about. I was making money and spending that shit. Like rent, food, strip club, whatever the fuck I was into at that point in time. I see this motherfucker in the strip club sometimes, so he knows exactly what
Y'all walking like, oh shit, what you doing?
Oh shit! Like, nigga, I told you.
Yeah, but I never took none of the re-up. That was the part.
Yeah, that's the difference. But like that shit is hard, man. And I feel you because, like, at the end of the day, I think like it's an American dream, like this bullshit that they try to sell you on, right? Is start a business, get rich, blah, 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 when really, like, you can go buy a life insurance policy and, work your job and, live a good life and leave your fucking kids something.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't want to hear that. A lot of people want to, see what's on Instagram and the flashy cars and think starting an LLC is the way to get to that the fastest.
Yeah.
I fucking feel bad for these people because, I don't know, you got to get up every day. Like, you your own boss. You got to figure out what the fuck you want to do that day. You got to figure out how you're going to make money, how you're going to keep the business afloat. Nobody is going to tell you how to do that. And then you got to go to him, and he's basically the principal looking at your report card like, all right, well.
Dickhead.
And then I'm giving you a bill after, too.
Like, right. And you're getting a fucking bill for it. Like, I lost all this fucking money this year, and now I got to pay you.
Yep.
That shit is trash.
That's why you should
It's
just
funny
do
you
work.
say that because, like, obviously my wife, that she does pastry. She went to pastry chef. She has 10 years doing a bachelor's degree. And time again, people are like, yo, you need to open up a shop. You need to work for yourself, sell these. And she's like, I'm not trying to do that. I don't want to open up a business, be responsible for myself. And then if the business flops, then I'm fucked.
Yeah.
And then she was like, I just work for somebody else,
Right.
do what I need to do, get paid my money, go home after 5 o'clock, not worry about the business flopping. I just get my checks. I got my PTO,
Right.
and she's fine. Like,
She knows her.
Yeah.
She's really the smart
that's the
one.
self-awareness that people just don't got.
Yeah, she's the smart one. While all of the other people are probably trying to do what they said.
Yep.
They're probably the ones losing that $10,000 to get a $2,000 refund check. And they think they're outdoing her, where she could be just putting her money up. A lot of people, we all always have been entrepreneurs. Like, you got to think people were selling dinners out the house and all types of things before. But they just didn't get the IRS involved. Why would you start now? So if you did the same thing and just invested your money,
facts.
then you would be all right. I respect the working person more than the entrepreneur in a sense, because as long as you're doing the correct things. Mm-hmm. And because if you look at it just in general overall, you got like the owners of Walmart and things of that nature that actually own the company. So that's 4 billionaires right there.
Right.
Now think about all the people that work for Walmart that make $1 million. Think about all the people that invested into Walmart that's making a couple $100,000.
Yeah.
So there's more people that's at work that's millionaires than the entrepreneurs. It's just we're not told that. So everybody's like, oh, let me be the boss.
Yeah.
Like, no, if you're smart enough, that's why I gave this scenario to you earlier about LeBron. Like,
Yeah.
I'm on the road with the boss, and then I make a bunch of money with him versus me trying to compete with the boss, and then I'm not making as much.
That's why you ever hear that joke? Because me and Larry, we talk. Have you ever heard of Mr. Beast? One of the biggest YouTubers ever. Rich, like he just knows the business of YouTube, right? Every video he does, 20, 30 million views. Like he just knows it. And one of the jokes is like, the best job in the world is to work for him. Not to be him. Best job in the world is just to work for him because he's going to take care of you. You got a good job. He's succeeding. You're succeeding. But I don't want to be him because he has to worry about all this other shit. He has to come up with new ideas on a regular basis. He's the face. He has to represent himself, the company. I'd rather be your friend or work for you.
You get to go home at 5.
And that motherfucker working nonstop.
Yep.
And it takes so much creative energy. But yo, I wanted to read this shit to you because you just brought that up about investing in Walmart. And I saw this fucking tweet earlier on Earn Your Leisure. Shout out to them, their podcast, Black Dudes. I don't know, you should probably follow them too. It's, he drop a lot of shit.
All right.
But they said in 2001, Apple released the first version of the iPod. It cost $3.99. If you had invested $3.99 in Apple stock instead of buying the iPod, today that stock would be worth $207,871.
Could have went to work.
Like, yo, what?
Could have went to work.
And we out here buying this shit all day long, bro. My whole fucking setup is Apple. I got 2 fucking iPhones.
You don't own not one stock.
I probably own like a quarter of that shit, if that.
Life, like we make life hard for no reason.
But you know why I appreciate more than anything having this conversation with you, and I'm realizing this now, is like it's a lot about like looking at yourself. Like I don't do that shit enough. It's like where can I improve? And then like for me, like taxes is the thing where you get to pull your life apart and be like, all right, where the fuck can I improve? Because like when you're looking at your bank statements or whatever at the end of the month, you see where all your money is going. You see where all your time and shit is being spent because it's showing you like Uber Eats, DoorDash, the bar.
Strip club.
Exactly. Top 5. And it's like, all right, yo, like my money is out of control. So my life must be out of control because the one usually follows the other.
Correct.
You know what I'm saying?
They go hand in hand.
Exactly. So yeah, like I appreciate this conversation already. We only like halfway in. So tax season's here. You're gonna start seeing all of the memes where, the dude is like, "Baby, I love you." And, I know you got them taxes. Let me get 10,000. I'm gonna flip that for you. What are some of the ways where you've seen people be kind of successful in taking a refund check and doing something with it?
Me. I set my paperwork up where I pay the most taxes while I'm on W-2.
Okay.
And that means I get the bigger refund check coming at the end of the year.
Okay.
So how I started into real estate was my refund checks. Like how everybody be like, oh, you can take your money, nigga, your down payment on your house, you only got to put 3% down.
Right.
Yeah, I figured that out as a child. So first property I bought, I took it from a refund check and went through the system, bought my first property for $85,000. 3 years. My mom and them moms said, oh, you crazy. You want to move back down the bottom? You a fool. Like, that was my neighborhood, so I'm not scared to be from there.
Yeah.
And 3 years later, I rented the place out. Probably went from $75,000 to $250,000. 3 years. The neighborhood started changing.
Yeah.
That was a refund check.
Killing.
But then I took so I always take my refund checks and I flip them. Every refund check I get, it goes to a bill, like, is normally related to a property.
Right.
So normally I might be doing a rehab, so I got high credit card bills. I'll send that whole refund check to the credit card bills. Or I'll send it straight to the mortgage because I want to pay the mortgage down that faster. Then the faster I can pay a mortgage down, then the faster I can get a new loan.
Right.
The more rental income coming in, the bigger loans I can get. All that started from a refund check, though.
Break that down for me. Like, what do you mean you pay more through your wages?
Yeah, so say if you have 3 kids. On your W-4s, when you fill out for your job, you might fill down that you claiming 3 exemptions. I put down 0. So that means they're taking too much out of my check from the start.
Okay.
So that means it's like an extra savings account. So I tell people to go 0, especially when you got bad spending habits. It don't matter what is right or wrong. Your spending habits dictate everything to me. So if you know you're going to spend the money, I tell you to go to 0 instead of 3. That's like an extra $200 they're not putting into your paycheck, and they're sending it to the IRS now for you. I'm going to get all of it back come tax season. So normally where you might only get a $2 refund check, now I'm getting you an 8 or 6. We can take that whole 6 and we can dump it somewhere.
So
in 2 years, that's 12.
Yeah, that's
how many people got 12 grand to say
that ass. So even though you claim 0, when you go to file your taxes,
I get it all back.
You can just say, "Oh, I got 3 kids." Oh shit!
And then that's how I let them tax me the hardest at work.
Right.
And then I get all this extra money back when they be like, "Why are you keeping it?" So I literally can make 200 grand, and you can make 30 grand, and I can get a bigger refund check than you.
Right.
And you know, refund check is based off of because it's the income brackets. So if you're in that 20 to 35 area, that's where you get the most on your kids.
Okay.
So you hear on people like, "Oh, I'm getting $8,000-$9,000 refund checks because they got multiple kids and they're in that income bracket." So pretty much they done told you how much they make. But then the people who make over that threshold, all they're doing is getting some of their money back. So I just paid too much in, so I'm starting to get so much money back.
Oh, okay. Got you. And that helps people to basically curb their spending.
Correct. Because you don't have it.
Exactly. Yeah. Okay.
So I literally, it's a mental thing. So even though I know I can afford to just keep my money myself and I can put it somewhere else, it makes it even harder for me to spend it. So the IRS just took an extra $200-$300 a paycheck from me. I don't have that. I'm still putting my $200-$300 a paycheck on top of that.
Right.
So then I got this I already got my money I saved already, plus this big refund check. I can put them together.
Damn.
All right, so I might only have 5 come the end of the year, but now I got another 6 coming from the IRS to 11. Then I got a down payment on a new property.
Damn. That's a simple ass hack. Like,
yeah, it's so easy that it makes me angry that you just don't think about it.
But it's a tax thing. Like I literally, when I'm going through people's taxes, I tell them what adjustments to make.
Yeah.
You can't. That's the TurboTax problem. Like you just going in there and you get it done.
Doing it done.
So you save $30, but you really lost a couple $1,000s.
Yeah.
And I say that the same for like when the business owners use barbers for example. Most barbers and hairdressers don't own anything.
Yeah.
That's simply because they don't file tax returns and they're not reporting anything. So it'd be cool because you made $100,000 doing hair or cutting or whatever the case may be, but you literally don't got no car, no property, no nothing. So I'd rather would make $30,000 and I'll go buy a couple cribs and I'm gonna pass you at some point. Now we done hit 50 years old. You're not still doing hair. Most of your people don't got no hair.
that's true.
You don't got no retirement plan. You don't got no benefit package. You don't got no Social Security. You don't have nothing that you file. Only thing you're gonna have is like the what did the old people get?
Retirement, Social Security.
Your Social Security is going to be extremely low because you never paid.
Right.
But it's Medicare. So that's the only thing you're really going to have, and you're going to be trying to survive off it. Or you're going to be trying to find a husband or a wife who've been working all this time so you can freeload off of them. But that's why it is not always the income. Sometimes that's why to bring it back to a job is most of the time more important. And you can get a lot ahead farther working that job than just being an entrepreneur. Not saying don't be an entrepreneur at all, but you just got to know what works for you. Like how you said, your wife said, like, "Oh, I just want to do this."
Yeah.
I'm with her before somebody else come here and tell me a dream. Like, bro, I tell you the worst case scenario. Like, you're probably going to fail.
Yeah.
Now, you go take it from what you want from there. But you still going to get a bill out of me regardless.
So I guess as much as people hate paying taxes, like you don't exist in this country if you're not paying taxes. Like
No.
you just, all the things you just mentioned, you can't get a fucking car. You can't buy a fucking house. You basically are an illegal alien if you don't pay taxes.
And tax is not bad. So, like, a lot of my higher value clients, I tell them they want to pay taxes. So, a lot of people have shifted where they used to make a little bit of money and they make a lot of money now. And they don't want to pay taxes because they're still in that mindset of, I don't want to pay taxes. And I'm like, all right, now you got to pick a side now. So, when you do tax planning, you can pick and choose more so when you want to pay the taxes. Right. So, you can literally, and back to real estate, is say if I make $100,000 a year, the threshold is around 70. But say if I buy 2 properties and I'm being in rehabs and I got all these losses I'm taking from the properties and the management company for $40,000 a year. Now I only got to pay taxes on $60,000 instead of $100,000. And so it also pushes me into a lower tax bracket. So that's good. I'm paying lower tax bracket. Now once those properties are done, then the rental income come in. Say it's another $20,000. So you went from where you only had to pay taxes on 60, now you paying taxes on 120. Your $100,000 salary plus an additional $20,000 in rent. Yeah. So now you got a tax plan. You got to go find bigger properties now to redivert the income back down to the 60 again. So that's what I'm doing on the real estate side. So people be like, why are you keeping these refund checks? Because I buy more properties and do certain things or invest in new businesses. That's going to make me lose the money. So I didn't physically lose. I lost the cash, but I didn't lose the money. The money is tied up into something else that's going to come back to me 10 times more later on.
It's fucking smart. So I want to touch on the barber thing real quick. So say my uncle, wherever the fuck he at, hasn't paid taxes in 20 years, right? He's been a barber for however long. Is he able to, it's like, all right, I want to be able to buy a house. Let me go to TP Taxes. What can you do for him to be able to help him buy that house?
I mean, it's an easy fix. All he would have to do is just get his bank statements. Hopefully he's been depositing the money.
Okay.
So if you got proof the funds out. So if you're depositing the money or you can proof the funds out that he had the cash, then we can still do the tax returns back 3 years.
Okay.
So you can go back 3 years as long as the IRS is not telling you. If the IRS tell you to go back farther, then you can go back farther. But I don't tell anybody to go back farther than 3 years.
Okay. So he would just have to bring his bank statements for the last 3 years?
And proof it out. And then we can do the paperwork off of that so we can get the tax returns filed. Then, he can turn around. But now he got a big tax bill to go with it, too.
Yeah, that's true.
But I'd rather him pay the tax bill than not be able to buy a house.
Right.
So and back to the thing I was telling you about all the clients is taxes is a good thing to pay. So taxes, you want to look is your report card that dictates on how well you're doing. That means how much you want to pay. Yeah, you don't want to pay the max tax, so you want to pay the least on the most amount of money you can make. You've never heard a rich person ever say, "Oh, I make too much money, that's why I pay a lot in taxes." Only poor people. Like I've never heard of rich people like, "Oh, I want to pay taxes, I'm gonna make less money." Poor people say that,
Right.
Or they'll say, "You work too much overtime, that's why you're getting killed in tax." Like, how could you How could you make too much money? There's no such thing. So that right there is a poor mindset. Now, if you make $100,000, it's like $30,000 every $100,000, but it's because like 40% tax. So if you made $1 million, you'll never make as much money as the bank can give you, and that's what people don't understand. So to break that down,
you'll never make as much money as the bank can give you.
Yeah.
So okay, I'll let you do your thing.
All right. So if you make to get a $200,000 home, you need to make like $50,000.
Right.
All right. So you made $50,000. You owe $15,000 in taxes. You paid them $15,000. You got that house.
Right.
The same goes in business. So if you make $100,000 in your business, you're like, "Oh, I'm getting money now," but that means $100,000 doesn't feel like a lot to you anymore. You probably want a $500,000 loan. You don't got $500,000.
Right.
So you making $100,000, you want to pay your taxes on that, go ask the bank for $500,000.
Right.
All right, so now you got a $500,000 and you think you get money now. Who wants a $500,000 home? Yeah. So now I'm gonna turn around, pay my taxes on my $500,000. I'm gonna go ask the bank for $2 million. I never had $2 million. So I just keep doubling back. I pay the IRS, oh, Uncle Sam might say, "Hey, you owe me $200,000. That's cool, take your $200,000. I'm gonna go to the bank, "Hey, Santander, I need $2 million. And it's going to be back and forth, give and take.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I'll never had the $2 million. So I'm going to pay one. I'm just like you robbing Peter to pay Paul. Hey, you give me the $2 million, and you take your $200,000. Yes, you have to pay the bank back, but if you're the entrepreneur you say you are, or if you're just doing the right thing with your money, if you got $2 million, I hope you can afford to pay the note back on the $2 million that you getting the deal on. Otherwise, you shouldn't have did it at all. But again, that's what leads back to you'll never get as much money as the bank can give you.
Damn.
I
never heard that shit.
So I always pay my taxes. Like, I don't care. Whatever you want to take from me, take it. There's my number, take the money. I hate paying it. I cut the check. But then I go right to the bank. "Hey, Uncle Sam just got this, so I feel like y'all owe me this." Yeah. And they'll say, because remember, debt to income ratio and all that plays a factor into it. So that's the tax planning side of it. They'll say, "Oh, you can get this." It's still more than that $30,000 I gave them or $100,000 I gave them. I'm asking for large numbers. I'm not asking for small numbers. Yeah. So I'll cut the check. And then I'll just keep dumping it back in itself. So if you use real estate, I'll get IRS $100,000, go at a bank for $1 million. I'm gonna buy a property. I bet you I'll make more than $100,000.
Yo, so hypothetically, right? Not saying that anybody out there has ever done this, right? Let's say dude come to me. Realistically, he sells drugs, but he tells me, he's an entrepreneur, right? He's depositing his money in his accounts. Can he somehow do the same thing? Like,
But he still got to proof the funds out.
Okay.
That's the problem. When it hit the bank account, the bank is going to know where the money's coming from. unless it's all small deposits.
Got you. So,
But when you file a tax return, you got to say what you do too.
yeah.
So then you got to come up with something that's going to say it's a money laundering. That's what they're doing.
Right.
So when you hear like I'm trying to think who a show.
Ozark.
Right, them boy, he's money laundering. So you seen they was buying at liquor stores and all that type of stuff and,
Right.
and making up fake invoices.
Right.
That was the business going back and forth so you can proof out on the tax returns to keep the IRS from the back. Even if you think about in the drug world, most of the big time people didn't go to jail for murder or drugs. They went to jail for tax evasion.
Right.
Hilarious.
That's the one thing you can't get rid of is taxes. Right. So you was better off just paying Uncle Sam their money and then making them had to prove that you was selling drugs.
Wesley Snipes.
Right. That's exactly what it is. Tax evasion, that's where you get caught at because you can't prove the money out now. Yeah. So now that's when they come looking for you. And you much easier going to jail for something dumb in the criminal world than going for the IRS because you go to jail with the IRS, they take your money and you got to do the time. If you shot somebody and you had money, you just go to jail. When you come back, your money's still sitting there. So that's why I would tell people the one person you don't try to fuck over is the IRS.
Right. Ain't that some shit? They're the biggest gangster on the fucking planet. Yeah. Like, you can go shoot a cop, but don't you not fucking pay the IRS.
Why don't you not pay the man?
God damn, that's crazy. Yeah. Yo, so I have I guess kind of like another one. Strippers.
So that's legit.
That's legit?
Yeah.
Stripping is legit?
Yeah. It's like OnlyFans. Like, you show the money and you file everything like you should. And you can milk it.
What the fuck does a stripper say?
Milk it is hilarious as far as
you really put
and everything goes.
a dancer on your W-2.
Oh, like a professional dancer.
Mm-hmm. You can put entertainer or something.
Wow, bro.
Anything you can make money that's legal, you do it the same way. But if it's illegal, you do it the same way too. It's just you might get caught. But you still paid the man, so as long as the man paid, that's one less person after you.
God damn.
You always have to pay somebody. So even if you be like, oh, I want to pay the IRS, you're still taking a hit because now you don't got nothing. So you didn't pay in cash, you just paid in time. That's why I use the example of the person making $30,000 and the barman making $100,000. I might own 3 properties now, and you still only make $100,000. Right. Now, by the time we hit 50, now we're at the equal level. But I got all my pensions, retirement plans. I still make my same 30, or hopefully I grew over the time. Like, my number goes up. I got rental properties now. You've been making 100, your number goes down because your clients are going bald and everything else.
So essentially, paying your taxes is helping you scale the business, and I think that's like important because people don't understand how leverage works. Right? People think, oh, I got $20,000 in the bank. I got more money than you because you only got $5,000 in the bank. But if your credit is straight, your taxes are filed, you can go to the bank, like you said, and go do something else, reinvest, buy property, whatever, versus the other person, they shit out of luck. And with inflation, right, like your money's worth less just sitting in the bank.
So, no names. When we were sitting at a family meeting one time.
Oh, shit. Here we go.
I was sitting there thinking about that shit.
And we were arguing, man. We were arguing back and forth. And he pulled out $200 cash. I was like, I don't got that. He's like, oh, you don't get no money? I was like, that's cool, but I'm going to go get like $2 million out of the bank tomorrow. I can just tell him my name, and they'll give me the money. Can you come up? How long have you come up with it? And he couldn't. Right. So that means you couldn't be a part of the deal because you don't have enough money. So it's no cat. You need to be liquid. Yeah. And what you can do, lines of credit and be liquid. It's just a million ways to skin a cat. Yeah. So it don't have to physically have cash in hand on the bank in your pocket.
I hear that shit a lot. Like people going and taking out like lines of credit, business credit cards, and all of that shit. Are those the same people taking losses on their businesses just to get this business credit card or line of credit?
No. So you're definitely not taking losses because why would I give you money in lines and you taking L's? That means you can't pay my money.
Okay.
So your paperwork shows that you can make the payments.
Okay.
Or the cash is coming from somewhere else where you can put the collateral up. So banks will give you loans even though your company is struggling, but you might got the assets in the business to get the money. So say if you got properties automatically, then you can give this property up and they'll give you $800. That means they get to take your property if you don't make the payments. So you're more at risk than them.
Does the back file, and this is like more of a personal question, does the back filing for a business, because I have an LLC that I had like the rental properties under, can you back file for a business the same way you would for a personal? Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But they're supposed to be done. If you're a regular LLC, they're supposed to be done together. So that means you got to amend your personal taxes and fix them.
Oh shit.
So now your paperwork wrong.
Oh shit. That's a bad job. That was just a hypothetical question. Yeah, that was a hypothetical question. I really mean that one.
Yeah, it's everything is situational. There's no one right or wrong answer to it. You're just doing more so what works for you in that scenario. But that's why it all leads back to who you're around and who you're dealing with and who you do business, where it'll open your eyes up to new things. So like I still have my job, my morning job.
Right.
And people think I'm crazy for working my morning job. But the same way people go to seminars and things like that, that's how I use my morning job. So I'm just getting paid to be at my seminars.
Okay.
So, I mean, I would have never met a millionaire, like face-to-face outside of sports and illegal activity and stuff like that until I became an accountant.
Right.
So, but your two closest people in your life and business is your accountant and your lawyer. So, and just doing taxes, I know more about people's life than their husband and wives. And they normally ask me questions and tell me everything because you have to be open to me in order for me to help you.
Yeah.
Now, in that scenario is with me being at work, being around all these rich people, and they have to tell me everything since I'm their accountant or their CFO or whatever, then I can literally be sitting in the office and I'm like, oh, that's how you did it? All right, I don't have the $20 million you got, but I got this 20 grand and I'll go home and try it. And then that 20 grand turned to 60. That's turned to 100. All right, their 20 million turned to 40 million, 50 million. But we all came up. I just was on a smaller scale by doing it. But I only seen that because of who I'm around now. And that's the doors that situation opened up for me. So that's why I stay at work so I can figure out some of those taxes.
God damn. What's like the one gem you kind of picked up by meeting with all of these people? Because obviously they giving you hella game for you to still be there.
So it's not even more so gems I get more. The main thing is entrepreneurship is really a trick.
What you mean?
Like they barely really enjoy it. It's who they are.
Okay.
So they're in business because they're solving a problem, and then they're really good at that, and that's how they got to that space. But the main thing I might be learning from them is dealing with people. So that's the biggest problem in business, especially with the era of entrepreneurship where everybody wants to be their own boss. So then you got to figure out how to deal with the mastermind. You got to figure out how to deal with this many people to get everybody to focus on the same exact thing at the same exact time, like basketball, which I think most people didn't play sports. So when you play a sport, everybody's focused on one goal and to get the championship. You got to keep all those people consistently after that one goal to get a championship. That's very difficult to do because people fall off all the time trying to figure out in their own way, and they lose sight of what's really supposed to be happening, even if it's more beneficial for them. So just imagine if Scottie Pippen said, you know what, I don't need Jordan, I don't need to be a part of the Bulls, and he left. Okay. They got a new Scottie Pippen to come in.
Right.
And Jordan would have still won because that core nucleus, like not meaning Scottie's not that good.
Right.
But he's a space filler. So it's hard to keep that team together so that y'all can hit that goal. And that's where even the biggest companies, they all had that problem with staffing. Yeah, they get the higher quality people. Everybody still has that pitfall in staffing. It's just the smaller you are, the harder it is. Even with y'all, I'm sure all y'all trying to build y'all brands, even just friendship.
Yeah.
When y'all all just trying to do something to get to a common area, even if y'all not mixing business together, somebody else might be like, oh, I want to do real estate. And I'm like, well, I want to do this. And if it's not supposed to how it works, it should be whatever the first person can get us out, that's what we doing. I don't like if you said, hey, I'm a great swimmer, and you be like, oh, I play baseball, and I'm like, I'm an accountant. Now, maybe I make the most, but you got the quickest way for us to get out.
Right.
I'm rolling with you.
Right.
Because it'll benefit everybody to get the money faster versus us all working separately and trying. Like my homie, he's an electrician. I told him every time, if you get to a space where you need it for growth, I'll close my shop tomorrow, or I'll just leave my staff and be like, do any of y'all want to do electrical? And if they say yeah, they come with me. If they say no, I'm like, all right, y'all can handle this. Call me if y'all need me. I'm going to go ahead and do this electrical. And he'd be like, yo, you're not doing it. I'm like, man, I'm going wherever we going to get out faster. We got one goal is to make money, not who going to look good or do whatever. I look good after you pay my check. Paycheck come out on Fridays. I'll be there Friday.
Right.
And they like, damn, Tom, you looking good. Yes. My name ain't on no doors or nothing. I'm going home at 5 too. I would like to go home at 5. I don't really want to be the boss. Right. It's just a scenario I'm in.
Right.
And that's what I like. Like all of my clients, none of them really want to be the boss. It's just a scenario they're in. Right. And then they're addicted to it too. So that's a personality trait where it's just a lifestyle. Like they can't go to sleep at night. They want to do everything. They got to be a part of everything. They got to learn everything.
Yeah.
They're looking for growth.
Yeah.
That's a part of them.
Yeah.
So that's the entrepreneur person. There were other people who are just more so a self-employed person trying to make extra money. Make the extra money off the other person.
Right.
So that's what more, like I always thought that way, but that made me think of it more as I seen it in their life. And the more I'm around them, clearly the more money I make. So I stay.
Yeah, clearly. God damn. But yo, are you hiring shit? Can people come get a job at TP Tax?
We definitely looking for new accountants and tax preparers currently now. We just hired 3 new tax preparers. We're looking for more though, because we're looking to open a second office next year. Right now, we all function out of one office.
Congrats.
But we're trying to move it to the second office by next year. So hopefully we can find a building because the real estate market is just trash.
It's not trash. Don't listen to him, y'all. It's not trash. The real estate market is popping. Yeah, fuck time. But tell the people where they can find you, man. This was a fucking dope ass podcast, and you dropped a lot of gems. But I want to make sure that we get you the hella business. You know what I'm saying? I want to make sure you want some extra attention. You know, he's a good looking dude. Jump in the DMs. Where can people find you at, bro?
So our website is tvtex. There's TP Tax everywhere. So it's TP Taxes on all websites. Our website is tvtex.com. The phone number is 215 TP Taxes. So just wherever, as long as you put TP Tax in, you'll find us.
He's a sharp motherfucker. I got the phone number to match the goddamn business name. That's
sure.
Well, he got the phone number first, and then he got the business to match the phone number.
Is that what you did?
Nah.
I want to say, wow, that shit was kind of sharp.
I didn't even come. That was funny because I didn't even come up with the name of TP. Somebody's making fun of me and called it TP Tax. That's how I used it.
He was like, yeah, fuck you, I'm gonna flip it.
That shit.
And then that's exactly how I came up with the name. So most of my decisions came out of situations like that.
That's what's up.
Which is all the timing. And that's part of business too, luck. A lot of times it's luck. Like you gotta be doing the right thing at the right time. Somebody can come behind you doing the same exact thing and they blow up. And you'll be like, oh, I've been doing this for 40 years. It's a timing thing that you just missed that right spot. That's what it is.
That's valid. Well, thanks for coming on, Tom. I appreciate you.
Appreciate y'all.
My boy George, you over here looking at me all fucking crazy. I'm very,
Productive and shit.
that's not what the fuck
No?
I said.
Nah,
That's not what the fuck I said. But I'm Larry. This is George. We appreciate y'all for coming on the Mancave podcast. To the next one. Bro, you be on some shit.